So I was going on before you came on about Vin Scully and Vin Scully coming back for his 65th year. No surprise, I would guess, that Vin Scully is coming back, but and I mean, Vin Scully is he's on a different level than anybody else. But Richard, what allows him to keep doing this as long as he has? And as well as he has, you hear him talk, and if you didn't know Vin Scully, you would think it was a much younger man on the air.
Well, I mean, the easy answer is he's one of a kind. He's a real living link to sort of, the Red Barbers and Mel Allens and sort of whatever we think about of old school baseball. This guy not only is it, but he lived it. And he's one of the very, very few people in broadcasting, and there are not many, who I think have earned the right to pretty much tell their bosses when they should go. I know, first of all, I think he's such a beloved figure in Los Angeles that he's more popular than any player, any team management person. So I think he'd probably be able to choose that. But the quality of broadcast still exists. He said in an interview in the LA Times that he still loves doing this and he wants to do it. I know his travel schedule has been reduced a little bit, but there's no reason in the world that even at 85 that if this guy wants to continue, especially doing home games, he should do it. I think, I didn't hear Vin Scully when he was 40, so I don't have a frame of reference to compare him to 85, but the Vin Scully today is as good as any baseball broadcaster that I hear. Whether he's the best or not, it's sort of up for grabs.
Sure.
But he's in the top echelon. So as long as his performance exists, he should stay there. I live in a city, I don't know how much you know about our radio network, with John Sterling, who really is infuriating as a radio broadcaster. It's about John Sterling as opposed to the game. And the thing I love about Scully is he never forgot, even as famous as he is now, that the broadcast is about what's in front of him as opposed to him. And so I can't say enough things about the guy. He's a class act. He's a beautiful broadcaster, and I hope he continues for as long as he wants.
Yeah, he's got a remarkable way of, I wouldn't say, Richard, that he stands back, because I don't think that's the case, but he has a remarkable way of not getting in the way when there's a big event. And, I mean, I've heard him call perfect games. I went back and listened to his call of a couple of games, and he really does let the event play out. And yeah, he talks about it, but you always get the sense he's talking about it as an observer as opposed to a guy who's part of what's going on. There's a real art to that.
I agree, and that's sort of one of the greatnesses of Scully is that he never really has acted above the game, and quite frankly, the guy would have every right to act above the game. It's a ridiculous comparison to compare someone like Chris Berman and Vin Scully, but Chris Berman is the example of a guy who acts above the game and thinks that his performance is more important than what's in front of him. Scully is alongside of you for the ride. He's trying to, infuse you with what he has learned in all his years in baseball, but also at the same time, like presenting you what is in front of him and through his eyes and his thoughts. Again, I sort of try to run my head. Can I think of another broadcaster right now who sort of earned that right to walk away when he wants? I don't know. Is Vern Lundquist that guy?
Mm-hmm.
No. You know what? Maybe the closest, and a guy still got a long way to go. I could see someone like Mike Emmerich, who he's so gifted and so great at what he does in his sort of niche sport that I think he may be a guy who he'll tell NBC when he wants to leave as opposed to NBC telling him.